we do have a bad habit of worshipping things that are greater than us, and turning them into gods, and even turning our own leaders into gods, and creating gods that have the same kind of personality traits as our leaders, like Baal, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to be careful what we worship, what we don't worship, and I think that, yeah, personally for me, we have to remember that we have to remember our own power, and we have to think about the fact that, well, if we're getting downloads from these things and we're telepathically communicating with these beings, which is going to be part of the disclosure process, right? Uh, we need to remember that makes us powerful as well. That means that our consciousness is far greater than we imagined. And we should focus on that rather than looking to yet another false god to save us.
Yeah.
It's
At the end
definitely a
of the
danger.
day, there's something that I've been marinating over, because I've spoken to a couple of friends who are like Masons and all that stuff. And something that I understood about, I don't know if you agree, Jesus, is that this guy would be appalled at how people have been using his name after he passed away, and um, I think that in essence, what he was trying to teach people had nothing to do with some sort of higher power or God, or like I think that he regarded what what people understand as God as just like the creation in general. Um, and he was trying to teach people how to reach the gnosis state, I think. And there's not a lot of people that really understand that, and that's, they choose to believe in this higher power because I don't know, as I told you, it must be in our genetics or something. um
Yeah.
what do you think about that, about the this idea of reaching gnosis being like the thing,
I think that there's definitely a group of early Christians who believe that that's what Jesus was really here to do. The Gnostics. There's some debates over whether the Gnostic tradition represents the true teachings of what Jesus was trying to say. But I think that even in something like the Gospel of John, you see uh, Jesus talking about becoming one with the Father, um, and following his example, which very much seems to fit with the Gnostic approach of, it's about looking within, it's about transforming yourself and becoming Christ-like yourself, and uniting with a God which is not like the angry man in the sky that throws lightning bolts at you,
Yeah.
but is like the absolute reality, um, and something we have within us as well, which our consciousness, or you might say our soul, is an expression of. And so, yeah, I think personally, I think that is what Jesus really came here to teach. And then um, all of the stuff about Jesus being a sacrifice that was meant to atone for our sins, and we have to believe in his sacrifice for us, or we're going to hell, and we need to be saved from hell. Like, all of that BS came later.
Yeah.
That was never part of the original teachings. Yeah, I think it is much more about breaking out of the matrix, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of felt that you were going to have a similar interpretation of this. I'm glad I was right.
Yeah,
So I want to ask you a little bit more about these deities, Baal, Moloch, and others that have been mentioned. Because I don't know if you saw one of my episodes where I revealed that I was part of a chat of people from within the Intel community and other communities that were all like together in there to talk about how they believed that many of them were channeling old gods. So the chat was called the old gods. And
Mm.
when I see what is being talked about historically of these entities, and how dark their like whole aura is, and whole like the idea of them are, and I think about these people who are claim to be like possessed by these entities. I know that it sounds really fantastical